The 911 system is designed for people who have dire emergencies, and if you've
life and death.
If you talk to people who work in the the emergency world, the paramedics and the first responders and these operators, if you knew how many times they are called over something that doesn't even remotely. Now, keep in mind that shouldn't surprise us when we have a society who take food stamps when they don't understand what those are for.
They legalize drugs that make them out on some trip instead of doing something, positive or progressive something.
Yeah, so if I'm already taking things that are designed for dire situations, me abusing 911 is just one of the many things I do that doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's every day we get those. And I tell you, I get mad about it. I mean, I really get mad because I think, what if you have tied that line up for somebody that's having a heart attack? What if there's a traffic wreck somewhere? What if there's a holdup going on and you need to get to police, and you've got it tied up because the drive-through didn't get your fast food order right?
Well, this one may be. I don't know that this is the number one, but it's got to be top 5. And we have the story. Wait till you hear why this person called 911. And here's the story, courtesy
it's the 10th time
WBZZ.
This woman has called 911, and Hooksett police say now she went too far.
I just want a simple thing.
What is it that you want, Jeannie? What is that simple thing you want?
A pen.
Jeannie Dufresne called 911 from her apartment over the weekend, making the strange request.
Okay, what's your emergency, Jeannie?
I just want a simple thing like a pen.
You want a pen, and you dialed 911 because you want a pen?
Yeah.
You can hear the frustration in the dispatcher's voice.
And I'm trying.
What makes that an emergency, Jeannie?
What?
You do realize that it's definitely not an emergency. You're dialing 911. You are tying up a 911 line, so you're tying up people that actually have emergencies because you need a pen.
Hooksett Police Chief Peter Bartlett says bogus calls can delay getting legitimate callers the help they need.
It does. It ties up resources. It ties up our resources. It ties up the resources of the fire department. It ties up the resources of the E911 system in Concord. So all these resources, all 3 of these resources that get involved in these calls for service, it becomes frustrating.
It's not the first time Hooksett has dealt with calls like this. Elizabeth Nemi was arrested in March for calling 911 for help ordering Chinese food.
Hopefully holding these people accountable for what they've done, that we can sort of get the word out there that the emergency system is in fact a quality system that needs to be used just for emergency calls for service, not for something frivolous.
All right.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Now, undoubtedly, we're not sending a message.
We keep having them. The word's not getting out. So there's a couple of issues. These people are just stupid beyond belief.
Right.
Or they're high on drugs, or drunk, or some combination of the two.
Yeah.
So I say that if the police are not tied up, we go on out there, and when they open the door, you say, "What's your emergency?" When she says a pen, they just immediately pistol whip them to the floor.
That'll do it, Bubba.
And then you take their picture and you put it on Facebook and go, who else wants to tie up the 911 line? And then some of these clowns will actually quit, but, we'll coddle them and we'll take them in and they'll get all lawyered up. And, why are we picking on this lady? Oh, my gosh, she's had tragedy. Hey, I don't care what your problem is. Don't tie up 911. To the head. And you'll call some of these clients. I'm telling you, if you are a person that believes in evolution, we are doing the greatest disservice we have ever done by letting idiots hang around. We're propping them up. They should have already took themselves out of the gene pool by wandering out in front of a truck. But we keep them up in an apartment that we're probably paying for, giving them food stamps so they don't have to go to work, and they're idiots doing this. You ain't helping them. You are hurting yourself. People, wake up. What is wrong with you?
The pistol whip is extreme, but maybe that. But I'm going to tell you what, this might even be worse. I really think when we have things like this is what the stocks were for. When you would publicly humiliate someone and just put them out there in the stocks.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
And the town square, and put a sign over the top, I called 911 for a pen. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you go by and go, wow, you really don't need to mess up the 911.
Rick, I'll be honest with you. I believe I'd take a good pistol whipping over the stocks for a few days.
Yeah, because the pistol whip is tough, but it's over quick.
Yeah.
The stocks, you're out there.
Yeah.
Of course, down the day.
They even slapped at 5.
Well, Slapped at 5 is a program that needs to be implemented, and I mean soon. Today on Slapped at 5, a woman who called 911 and asked for pen, and also the woman who asked for help ordering Chinese. We've got them both today in a 911 special.
I reckon that
Slapped at
Chinese
5.
is tough to order.
It is. It can be very
I
difficult.
mean, I understand that.
Well, order a hamburger then from somewhere else if you can't deal with it.
Right. I mean,
What about
Learn
the
the
stupid
lingo.
dispatcher carrying on a conversation with the woman on the pen? Hang up.
you know, I
Well,
was
apparently she keeps
Well, she's
calling
just gonna
back.
call right back.
Yeah.
Send that
You know
pistol
what?
whip person out there.
That's
then.
why
I'm with you.
If she's
Or what
wiping,
I call the 911 stocks.
if she was icing her bruises and taping her cuts up from a good pistol whipping, she wouldn't be
That's a
calling
good
nobody.
point, Bubba.
Couldn't hold the phone up to her head.
Well, how about this? If tying up emergency lines for things that are not emergencies is really as big a deal as we all make it out to be, then let's treat it like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't treat it like it's a big deal, then good ones
Well,
never
it's
get
because-
the
let
they
me tell
never
you
get
why
the
we
clue.
don't.
It's a big deal.
Let me tell you why we don't. People like us, all of us, you folks that are listening, driving to work, trying to get kids ready for school, trying to do whatever you do today, we hear the story, we go, yeah, it's an idiot. We don't do anything about it. If we raise enough cane with our lawmakers to scare them into appointing judges that will not keep protecting these idiots and will actually have a little justice for civilized people, we would get rid of this problem. It's our fault that we are so passive about it. It's time we stop apologizing for the truth. I'm just sick of it. Sick.
How sick?
Very sick. Very sick.
How many times did you say it just then?
Sick.
To
There's too many idiots out there. We have allowed them to multiply, and this is what we got. That's the truth, folks.
Josh in Huntsville,
Idiots.
100.3 The River. Josh, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I was looking at Drudge a couple days ago, and I saw that cable went down in some town, and numerous people called in because the season premiere of the final season of Breaking Bad was about to air, and people were very upset about it.
And they called 911 instead of calling their cable company.
What?
That is correct. They called 911 because the final season of Breaking Bad's premiere was on, and they weren't going to get to see it.
Completely understand about you being upset about your show, a ball game or something. I get that. But the fact that you actually think that is an emergency beyond your call to your provider, you want to call 911 as if they can do anything about it.
Yeah, they're not going to send an officer out to shoot open the door of the cable office and go in and perform a technical service that they're not trained to do.
Unbelievable.
Right.
But let me tell you why. And you know exactly why.
Right.
They're too lazy to go look up the number to the cable company.
Right.
When the phone is next to my big chair that I can reach over to hit 911 and complain about something.
Right.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
Right. Yeah.
And again, do you really want the problem fixed? 911 ain't going to do it. Call the cable company. Call your satellite provider. Call your whatever. Call a TV repairman if you're off-air antenna. Whatever your deal is.
U-verse, whatever you are.
Yeah.
The Todd in Albertville. Todd, welcome to the program. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine, man. How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Hey, monkey grass, green acres.
Glad you called, buddy. Glad you worked. Hey, hi! Go ahead.
I think they need to give them community service. At least that way we know they'll be working, doing something.
Well, then you know what you run into next, and I've seen this even happen when you there was the old days when we were in school. One of the main things that could happen to you if you misbehave was either paddled or what? Somebody'd run you till you drop.
Oh,
well, now you get everybody coming with their papers. Well, I can't get out in the sun. I can't work. I have this. I can't,
got sunspots.
I can't do that.
I'm allergic to grass.
I'm not allowed to run.
I'm allergic to my
I'm
own
allergic
sweat.
to grass.
Right.
I can't get it, but I smoke it.
Right. And
To help
Yeah.
my other
So
problem.
what you would have, that would be too easy to circumvent. I mean, I know the pistol whip is extreme and the stocks are a little strong, but at least that's something there's no note for.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like